Do a quiet one. There we go. So, hello and welcome. Well, wait, hello. 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 Hello and welcome. Nope, hello. And welcome to the Good Info Cafe, where multiple intelligences meet each day. The Good Info Cafe is where I make a commitment to be faithful and true, and promise to help you maintain the good and perhaps feel even better at our cafe of meeting for the breaking of info bread, where I meet with you each and every day. So get ready for some nectarous music, delicious enjoyment, cage-free hope, organic, big, serious, helpful concepts in the pursuit of truth. Welcome, candid and humble sinners seeking good. I guess it's going to be Gregorian chant-like or monk-like, or where you stay on one note, but I do want to move around. So I don't even remember the other intros, theme song attempts. This is a third draft. So I got messy notes, so I'll be jumping around. I did read the article about from the APA, American Psychological Association, issues first ever guidelines for practice with men and boys. So they've been in association for 127 years, and not until 2019 do they issue something for helping boys. Then they were talking about how that psychology was always just for white men up until the 60s. Oh, so how did it work then? So for 190 years, it was all about men. And did that help men in cults? Sounds like it's gotten worse because you have to do this and you're saying this. So wow, an association's been around 127 years, and now they're going to focus on helping men and boys. My notes. So my initial impression is still holding, but I'm not doing a real prepared. This is second draft of the grade for the American Psychological Association, and they're still down here in terms of specifically for their guidelines for psychologists on how to deal with men and boys. And I'll talk about the other part, but it's pretty clear to me. Actually, it's in my notes. So I don't know, it can't be the finalized grade, but it will be a more informed grade. And so one of the main things was that they said that the traditional masculinity and masculinity ideology is what they're saying. So right now I stick with yesterday's headline: the American Psychological Association can be harmful to your health, specifically related to this. I don't know where it is in other areas. So they said stoicism, competitiveness, dominance, and aggression are harmful for society. I can tear that apart. So I read the whole thing, but I read the beginning slowly and got in depth, and then I had to torture through the rest of it just to get through it to see if there was anything else, but there wasn't. But anyway, I'm letting you know what level of research I am. You can see this is important to me. I'm the son of a psychiatrist. My father's a retired psychiatrist through Georgetown University in the D.C. area. Was called the singing psychiatrist. He's a tenor. Some of you saw the video of him singing "Oh Holy Night." And then my father-in-law, who's with the Lord now, who now knows, because he said he was an agnostic, a non-practicing Jew, from Bensonhurst in Brooklyn, was a psychologist. And I took psychology courses in college, University of Maryland. Very passionate. So that's why I'm saying this is second draft, but I'm pretty secure with my grade being low for this specific guidelines. It's don't even know where to start. Oh, I want to say that most of the people, say at least 70% involved in putting this out, are sincere and are trying to help. And I'll call this smart people doing dumb things. Smart people doing dumb things. I'm going to talk about things that get in the way of smart people doing smart things and being information literate. So, Stoicism, not allowing oneself to be controlled by desire of pleasure or fear of pain. So Stoicism is a female, a male can deal with not allowing oneself to be controlled by desire for pleasure or over desire for pleasure, because nothing wrong with the desire for pleasure, but except for when it gets in the way, and then a fear of pain running thing. So this is when it gets too far. So nothing wrong with Stoicism. Neutral. But they said the quote is, on the whole, Stoicism, competitiveness, dominance, and aggression are harmful. Yes, aggression, and I'll get back to that because that's the only truly negative word of those four. And the feminine and the masculine deals with those issues. And yes, the masculine more so. So there's a lot of really good concepts involved in this, but overall it's a dumb action. So smart people of the American Psychological Association behind this report or behind these guidelines, dumb actions. And I'll say what are causes of dumb actions by smart people. So then competitiveness, neutral. It's all context. It's all about context. There's a good kind of competitiveness and a bad kind of competitiveness. And I'm going to say it. The people behind this study, a lot of them you'll find are not in touch with their inner competitive nature. They're not in touch with knowing that competitiveness is a neutral thing. It depends on the context. So once again, Stoicism, competitiveness, neutral. Dominance. Do they want this report to dominate over other ideas and other reports that they disagree with? Or they want it just to be at the same level of these other reports that they disagree with? See? So dominance, if there's an emergency and you get the firemen saying, go, and they take over, dominance can be a neutral. Sorry, and everyone has inner dominance, male and female. Oh, itchy nose. I'm itching more, probably because I'm passionate about this. So dominance is neutral. It can be the context. It can be good or bad. So that's where it's dumb. These are smart people, and this is a dumb action of theirs. Aggression, attacking without provocation. It's bad. Aggression, out of the four, Stoicism, competitiveness, dominance, and aggression, is the only one that's clearly bad. The other three are neutral depending on the context. So that's why it's dumb. All right, so that's overall. That's their thesis, that those four things, traditional masculinity, they didn't use the word toxic masculinity that I saw, but that's what's also out there in like maybe the non-academic level. They can't use that, so at least I give them that. But they also, I think, said traditional masculinity. So and it leads to over-medicating the boys. I wrote it down. It leads to, it's terrible. They get a really bad low grade. I might give them a 10% for trying. Or I guess I wrote it on here. Yeah. So leads to meds, hormone, testosterone blockers, because that testosterone, it is ridiculous. Okay? These are smart people. Come on, you all. Smart. And then they politicize it, and they virtue signal. These are your sons, husbands, fathers. And my wife just got back from walking the dog. I'm doing my video. And so anyway, I'll do more on this. Maybe not tomorrow, but I'll prepare a better one in terms of time. But they're down here. Not even just a failing is 59% and below. They're way down here. For this specific report, I'm not doing a report on the whole APA. I'm doing it on this specific report. So anything else? Yeah, so I'm very confident in my grade for the APA and their guidelines for psychologists for dealing with men and boys. But it's still not in depth. This is after just 2 days of looking into it. But I looked into it pretty good yesterday. pretty clearly. DDD, yeah, it's terrible. Terrible. All right, get back to what other notes do I have here? People behind the study are not able to handle, I do want to say the vicissitudes of pleasure, not able to handle pain appropriately, not in touch with their healthy competitiveness, ignorant of when dominance is appropriate, and the insidiousness of lumping neutral words meanings with a clear bad thing, aggression. So that's the real overall, what's so horrible about these guidelines is they took 4 words with 1 aggression clearly negative, and the other 3 can be neutral depending on the context. Some, dominance leads towards a little bit negative, but they're still in context where dominance, you want that. You want someone to say, go here, do this. That there's a shooter somewhere, go hide over here. He took dominance. Thank you. It's ridiculous. And in sports is a great metaphor for all these things where they do have an effect. Stoicism in sports, you deal with the injury, the pain until it's over. Then you deal with it. So these people behind the study, a lot of them handle their competitiveness by saying competitiveness is bad because it means that they didn't do so well in their competitive. So it really does say a lot about the people behind the study. But they're still smart people, and 70% have good intentions. There are people behind study who manipulate this. I know what I was going to say. Somehow I could lead it to psychopaths and sociopaths. Oh, right. Psychopaths, sociopaths do not like competition. So in the extreme version of competitiveness in men is bad, will lead to men accepting that, and then the psychopaths, sociopaths are very happy about that. They fooled the people or men into thinking it's bad, and it's not. It's a neutral. Sometimes competitiveness is good. Over competitiveness is bad, and healthy competitiveness is good. Does that simplify it enough for you? It's so insidious what that report overall is. What else? Oh yeah, today's supposed to be the jam. I'm just gonna do a lesson on harmony for today because it's Friday. La, you hit this la, then someone else go. One goes ah, then someone else goes ah. So you're singing a major third, and then you're singing a perfect fifth. La. We're going to sing harmony together. Let's do that again. La. Some of these people hit this one. Some hit this one. Sure, you can go with the roo. I didn't even hit it. La. C major. Harmony, please. Let's go. I know you're sitting there thinking, should I sing? If you're by yourself, sing. Sing. La, third. Fifth. All right. And then miscellaneous. I just dealt with that. Was about the masculinity, traditional masculinity, BS. And yes, you guys that didn't do well in sports and didn't do well in sports competitions. There's other kind of competition like psychological papers. My paper did better than yours. I got this award. So you're still competing. That paper, the guidelines of psychologists on how to deal with men and boys after 127 years. Well, it took you long enough. You're actually admitting that you've been neglectful. And then you're saying you dealt with men and boys for the first 70, 80, 90 years. How did that help our society? It's ridiculous, but they always expose themselves. Time. What else? What sound came from Mary when she called Jesus for dinner? What came? It didn't come out. It wasn't Jesus. It wasn't Yeshua, I don't think. It could have been Joshua, but it could have been Eashoa, because of Aramaic. Eashoa. So what sound came out of Mary's mouth when she called him, Eashoa, here's some banana bread. They have bananas? Yeah, they have bananas. The final grade. More dumb actions by smart people. And that's what keeps them, I was going to go over the barriers, what gets in the way. So that's what gets in the way. of smart. We make smart people do dumb things. See.